Welcome to MarineLearn, practical knowledge and training for maritime professionals. Hit the bell button, subscribe, and like the video so we keep bringing valuable content to you.
A vessel prepares for departure. The bridge team is confident. The pilot is on board, but deep within the ship's engine room, a hidden unsafe practice is about to meet its breaking point. On the bridge, the order is full ahead. In reality, the ship continues moving astern. Today, we analyze a collision where one unreported defect led to a chain of human factor failures. Welcome to this MarineLearn training session. Our case study involves a general cargo vessel where a new crew joined just 48 hours before its scheduled sailing from a discharge port. During the handover, the relieving crew was told a critical secret. The main engine's automatic bridge control system was unreliable. It was deemed safer to operate manually from the engine room. Crucially, this critical defect and the decision to bypass the bridge controls was never reported to the ship's managers. The operation was now running on a hidden workaround. To understand how this failed, we must first look at the complexity of the manual control system being used. It required absolute coordination between four key roles. First, engine orders were passed from the bridge via the telegraph. In the engine room, these orders were acknowledged by the ship's electrician using the telegraph repeater. The electrician then indicated the intended direction of movement to the engineering team by simply pointing forward or aft. This was the only visual link between order and action. The chief engineer then operated the gearbox and clutch solenoids. This was a physical, manual engagement of the propulsion system requiring precise timing. Simultaneously, the second engineer adjusted the main engine governor to control the speed. Every RPM change relied on manual throttle adjustment. Here is the most critical failure point. A shaft speed and direction indicator was not fitted in the engine room. The engineers had no way to verify if the shaft was actually rotating as intended. This system depended entirely on human coordination and verbal or visual cues. In a high-stress maneuvering environment, this dependency creates an immense margin for error. Prior to sailing, the engine was tested in both a head and a stern modes. To the crew in the engine room, the system appeared to be functioning within their new normal. When the harbor pilot boarded, the chief officer informed him that the vessel was operating correctly. No defects, and more importantly, no manual control workarounds were reported. The master then made a fateful decision. He declined to use the tug that had been ordered. He wanted to gain an understanding of the vessel's maneuvering characteristics himself in the enclosed dock. We now have a new crew, a hidden manual control system, an uninformed pilot, and a master attempting to learn ship handling in an enclosed dock basin with no tug assistance. The mooring ropes were let go. A light wind gently set the vessel off her berth. The departure was underway, seemingly without incident. The master set the bridge telegraph to dead slow astern to move the vessel toward the center of the dock basin. For a few moments, the system worked as intended. As the vessel approached the turning position, the master moved the telegraph lever to stop. But this did not check the vessel's speed. The momentum astern continued unchecked. The cargo ship began to close on a dredger working on the opposite side of the dock. The pilot, recognizing the danger, told the master to go ahead. The master moved the telegraph to slow ahead and then to full ahead. But the vessel continued its backwards drift. The engine room had failed to execute the change in direction. The dredger's master, concerned, called via VHF. The pilot, relying on the telegraph position and his trust in the system, confirmed that the vessel was moving ahead. This was a false reality. Less than a minute later, the stern of the cargo vessel struck the dredger's starboard side with significant force. The collision was now inevitable. The impact pushed the dredger into the side of another vessel, discharging cargo nearby. In a matter of seconds, 3 vessels were involved and damaged. Why did this happen? It began with the normalization of deviance. The crew accepted an unreliable bridge control system as a condition they could simply manage with a manual workaround. There were critical communication silos. The pilot and the ship managers were kept in the dark, preventing them from making informed risk assessments about the departure. At MarineLearn, we emphasize, order acknowledged does not always mean order executed. The bridge team received an acknowledgement on the telegraph, but they failed to monitor the actual outcome. Scrutiny of the bridge shaft indicator would have quickly shown that the shaft was still rotating astern, even after the order for a head was passed. The data was there, but it wasn't monitored. The manual system was too complex for high-stress maneuvering. When the order changed rapidly from stop to full ahead, the human coordination in the engine room simply broke down. The first lesson is absolute transparency. Reporting defects to managers and pilots is critical to vessel safety. If a defect isn't reported, it cannot be fixed, and it puts every vessel in the vicinity at risk. During the master-pilot exchange, every operational limitation must be disclosed. Pilots must be aware of any defect affecting navigation to allow for appropriate precautions, like tug assistance. We must close the communication loop. All orders must not only be acknowledged, but closely monitored for completion. Verification of machinery response is a core bridge team duty. Secondary methods of control, while necessary, are often only suitable for emergencies. Using them as a routine workaround significantly increases the potential for human error. Finally, remember the environment. An enclosed dock with limited space and nearby vessels is never the place to test handling characteristics or new crew coordination. This brings us to our core philosophy. One question, one answer. Today's question was the vessel truly in control? The answer was a definitive no. Functionality is not safety. In maritime operations, unsafe shortcuts often appear normal until they don't. Good seamanship isn't just about moving the ship. It's about controlling the risk of every movement. Thank you for joining this MarineLearn analysis. By learning from these mistakes, we ensure a safer future for every seafarer. Master the risk and you master the sea. This has been Chief Engineer Somesh Dwivedi. Stay vigilant, monitor your indicators, and keep your communication loops closed. Safe sailing.